talk about the thing that Europeans literally accuse every American of in every American-European discussion video ever. Being loud. Europe loves to whisper that Americans are super duper loud, but I actually have a different theory. You'll hear it in hushed cafes, grumbled on crowded trains, and ironically shouted by people complaining about all that noise. But maybe Europe isn't that quiet at all, and maybe we're just a little too smug about our so-called silence. See, this isn't really about volume, it's about what we value when we speak. Americans aren't necessarily louder, they're just more audible. Their voices rise and fall with emotion, like a door inviting everybody in, and that's quite nice when you think about it. It's warmth you can hear. Europeans, well, we are very much with the etiquette. We dial it down when we're in public, except when drinking.
I absolutely love you, Anne. I think you're one of the best friends I've ever.
In the words of Nelson from The Simpsons, haha. There's a flatter tone, a steadier delivery. We like to signal composure, manners, a bit of emotional discipline. Neither's wrong, they're just playing the same social game with very different soundtracks. And of course, from person to person, we buck the trend all the time. I've met whispery Americans and booming Brits. But broadly speaking, it's a cultural tone design. See, in the US, noise is friendliness. A good laugh or animated chat says, I'm relaxed and I belong here. A silent restaurateur, on the other hand, feels awkward. Like nobody's having a good time. In Europe, quiet means respectful. Noise feels like a slip in composure, a crack in the social facade. But here's the twist, it's not actually about decibels, it's about delivery. And I actually caught this on camera a couple of years ago in a Patreon video. Oh, check out my Patreon if you want more behind the scenes videos. Most recently, we learned about the Irish Defence Forces, not military. I made a huge cultural faux pas in Japan. We took a trip to the zoo. I talked about the Hassan Piker dog situation, and we ran through some 80s number ones to try and scout some future reaction music videos. Plus, you have instant access to hundreds more videos, and depending on the tier you join, monthly Zoom hangouts, personal video messages, and of course video credits and shoutouts. But this was like a rare sighting caught on camera because it captured exactly what I'm talking about. I was in this really crowded restaurant in Donegal. It was a very busy Sunday, people were everywhere, tables were crowded, everybody was chattering. But one table stood out, and it was a group of American women. And the thing is, they weren't louder than anybody else. Check this out.
Sitting in
Yours are just reading, right? And what level are you at right now? That's one. I'm gonna jump too quickly. I went to a +1.
hold it, hold it. No, hold it for
No, I just thought it was edge tight.
you just picked it.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, so you know that ADHD guy that I dated before?
So why could I hear them and everybody else hear them above everyone else? It's rhythm. American speech has a different melody. It has peaks and flows and ebbs and silences. Emphasis like punctuation marks that you can hear, which are different to the ones that are existing in the room by other people speaking at a European rhythm. That's what we're going to say, rhythm. It's got built-in italics, exclamation points, and the occasional verbal emoji. Europeans, especially for example Eastern Europeans, tend to speak much more flat.
Я взяла 4, я знаю, що мені так багато.
More elliptical, less performative. I've noticed Irish people tend to be very dramatic with how we speak. A lot of hushed tones and then, oh, great big chatter.
The mother says we had to go anyway, we hadn't much a choice.
We're very melodic, very sing-songy. But unless we're doing it with a particular intent, or we're especially drunk, we're not super duper loud. We can't be heard above everybody else usually. So in contrast, when Americans aren't being loud, their voices still carry. They are emotionally amplified. And another reason I think is the intention behind how we speak. Americans seem to talk for the room. It's like a performance. They're inviting everybody in. It's very dramatic and they're trying to be friendly in doing so, not excluding anybody. It's a social style of speaking built on inclusion. That's my hypothesis. Meanwhile, in most parts of Europe, we are quite hush-hush. We're trying to communicate only with our peers. Like, this is our thing just for us, and that's what makes it so special. So maybe Americans aren't loud at all, they're just fluent in enthusiasm?
I'll take it.
That same expressiveness shows up everywhere, even in how we eat and how we dress. If you've seen any of my videos where I discuss attire, Americans definitely value comfort over etiquette. And again, Mark, I'm not talking about you. Every individual person is different. I'm talking about the collective America, generally. If your name's Mark, I just used that as a name. An American's importance is, I just want to be comfortable. Whereas a European will say, I wore what was appropriate to the situation. Maybe that's something to do with how long our countries have been around, how much we have tradition in how we dress, what we do, how we speak. European dress being appropriate to the situation is a cultural acknowledgement. And no such tradition exists in what is essentially shiny new America.
Is shiny as new.
Where comfort rules first and foremost. And oh God, I'm gonna go here again. Cutlery. Let's talk about cutlery. My own comment section's eternal battlefield. Americans switch hands, cut and scoop. It's fast and it's efficient. One could even say it's kind of like shoveling the food into your mouth. But of course, society there is fast and furious, and efficiency is foremost. Very, very important. Meanwhile, Europeans keep the fork in the left and the knife in the right. Fork in the left, knife in the right. Yeah. And it is slower, but it's neater. We don't flip the fork over to eat the food. We put it delicately onto the fork. It is slower, but it's respectful. And when we're on our own, a lot of times we will just shovel. But when in public, it demonstrates decorum and restraint, as well as being evidence of the fact we're not in a rush to go anywhere. This eating with you in public is the most important thing to us right now. And in a way, it is a performance. It's the performance of eating, but it's important to Europeans. It's not about which is better, it's what each culture values. For Americans, function is respect. You're here to eat, not audition for Downton Abbey. For Europeans, the form is the respect. It's not about speed, it's about grace. Efficiency versus elegance. The entire Atlantic divide summed up in one fork. And if you trace it back, it all makes sense. Europeans have been living in close quarters for centuries. Tiny villages, thin walls, neighbours on top of each other. Quiet isn't politeness, it's about survival. And I've had enough noisy neighbours to know.
Oh yeah, I remember that little.
Keep the peace, keep it down. America, by contrast, was built on wide open spaces. Aren't you lucky to have so much space? Noise was identity. You spoke to be seen, to exist, to claim your bit of the horizon. And there are so many of you living on one island that to stand out, you sometimes do need to be loud. In contrast, in Europe, we're a bunch of little separate islands. We don't have to compete for attention so much. Fast forward to now, and the world runs on volume. Algorithms reward the loud.
Neck hurts!
You have to project just to stay visible. Silence doesn't trend, it disappears. But Europe's love of quiet has found a second life. Now it's called minimalism, introvert culture, quiet luxury. Silence is branded as no longer stuffy but aspirational. Apparently you can rebrand not talking as a personality if it's done in beige. So to sum up, my hypothesis is maybe Americans aren't loud. They're just audibly sincere. They fill space to connect. And Europeans' quiet is not snobbery. It's pride and composure. We do things differently and that's okay. I know the internet tells you it's not, but it is. Europeans like to leave room to reflect. Americans like to fill a room with warmth. And both are right in their own way, unless you hold a fork like a shovel, which is definitely wrong. Thank you so much, guys. That's it for today. See you on the other side. Bye. Do you want to be in the video? You know, his mouth was like this, and I thought he had a stroke. But sometimes your lips get stuck on your teeth. That was genuine panic. Okay, bye.